do subscribe. It's imperative and important for you to subscribe because we have quite a lot of interesting conversations that we have right here. So it's ESTRQMEDIA, that's Estic Media on YouTube. So welcome to the chart. Remember to guard your privacy and obviously try to abide by YouTube's community guidelines. My name is Esther Mwachuku, and it's Democracy Day. Nigeria is celebrating her 26 years of practicing uninterrupted democracy, and there's a lot to unfold. There's a lot of mystery that we need to unmystify. So what's the mystery here? Well, there's this mystery that democracy is the best kind of system of government to practice. People are able to express themselves. Residents are free to call the government to order. Residents are free to also demand for their rights, compared to the stifling of freedom of speech with the military. But the kind of democratic dispensation since 1999 that Nigeria has practiced, what do we call it? Do we call it a complete democracy? Do we call it a hybrid? What kind of system of government are we operating? And every time we're supposedly celebrating Democracy Day, that's the same question that comes to the mind of everyone, or that comes to bear. They ask big questions like, what kind of democracy is Nigeria practicing? Have they ever enjoyed any benefit of democracy? What is the essence of practicing democracy? Or is it in name, or is it on paper, or in reality? What is the essence of democracy when you cannot freely express yourself without anybody shutting you up, without any form of propaganda against you, without anyone possibly waking up as early as possible in the morning to your room, to your house, to take you to an undisclosed location just because you woke up and you criticize the government of the day? Big questions have arisen as to what exactly is the import of the kind of democracy we practice. Well, it's a very big question, and I would actually leave that question for you to respond to. It's not in my place to tell you what kind of democracy we operate. What system of government you have experienced should determine to you your conclusion of the supposed democracy that Nigeria is currently rolling on with. So, ladies and gentlemen, you know that this is a political season, right? And I always tell you guys that politics is basically an aspect that affects all and sundry. Every aspect of our lifestyles actually includes and involves politics. So, let me tell you one thing that happened. So today being Democracy Day, the president went to the National Assembly. He cancelled the military parade and cancelled the national broadcast, which normally was the norm, where every 7 o'clock the president comes out, reels out a speech, tells us what his administration is all about, tells us the benefits of democracy, and also tells us to endure that our democracy is still struggling, and gives references to other countries, specifically our international counterparts, how they struggled and how many years it got them to where they are. But the president decided to break the norm, decided to do something quite different, and went straight to the Senate chambers to address Nigerians. He used the opportunity there to talk to Nigerians about the state of the economy, reel out the positives of his administration, basically his policy implementation, and what they have been able to achieve so far. Right? So, in that particular regard, then the president used the opportunity as well to make some clarifications. Right there, he clarified that he is not sponsoring the disunity or internal fracas going on within the opposition. He is not in any way responsible for them sliding into whatever quagmire that they're currently facing. The president also used the opportunity to say that he is a true Democrat, and that he recalled when he was a president, or rather when he was governor of Lagos State, and all that he went through, and how he stayed true to form, and how he was the only standing opposition even when others were afraid to be stifled or put aside in the political arena. He stayed firm as an opposition. So why would he be a proponent of stifling opposition? That's what the president said. So guess what again? The president now went ahead to also say that inasmuch as he is a true Democrat and is not the one responsible for the internal wranglings within the opposition political parties, the president then said that he doesn't actually mind the fact that the opposition parties are having issues. He loves seeing their confusion and disarray. And a couple of House of Rep members and senators got up to congratulate him for being that brazen, meaning the president can actually be petty. Okay, in the same vein, Peter Obi was also organizing a live broadcast. In that live broadcast, Peter Obi made quite a lot of remarks against the government of the day. One of the things he actually said paid homage to the late MKO Abiola. Actually, it stated it is troubling that under this current administration, Nigeria cannot be said to be a democracy, even though the current president was part of the struggle to bring it back to democracy. He said the state of the nation is depressing as the economy and security are at an all-time low, and even key indicators of measuring national progress like healthcare, education, and production is nothing to write home about. So, in that regard, he also disclosed that in 2023, about 38.9% of Nigerians were living below poverty. The president called the government of the day illegal, said the National Assembly headed by the Senate is also illegal, and that they have stifled democracy the more. Interesting, right? That was not the only thing. So the Northern Elders Forum are complaining that this administration is isolating them when it comes to infrastructural development and allocation. They are complaining that inasmuch as they contributed healthily for the president to win the 2023 election, so far when it comes to allocation, that the president has fallen short, that their region has fallen short. The big question was now being asked, what do you want the Southeast to say and what do you want the South to say? You also have the Afenifere faction asking that the president be removed. You also have another faction wanting to declare their own agitation that they want their own nation. So everybody wants something from the president. But there's something to take note of, which obviously the president is not paying attention to. Is the president not paying attention to the fact that we're gradually declining in our democratic tenets and principles? Is the president not aware of what is currently going on in the country? Is the president not also aware that Nigerians are suffering? The economic policies of the president that he has put on his paper, reeled out to Nigerians, that is basically the plausibility or the plausible angle to possibly pat the back of his administration. Has he realized that the common Nigerian on the street is not feeling it? Okay, so some persons believe that the president is being surrounded by sycophants who are not telling the president the truth about the state of the nation. But the president has disclosed to us that he has his mental acuity on ground, he thinks properly, and he is of sane mind, and that he's not surrounded by sycophants. In other words, he is in charge of his government, in charge of his administration. The big question that arose is the administration concerned about governance or about politicking? Everyone working close to the president is always calling the opposition. If it is not Peter Obi today, it's Atiku Abubakar tomorrow. So they're asking, if people criticize your administration, does it not behove them that Nigeria is the fulcrum, meaning that the president is president? He said of all days on Democracy Day, the president refused to reinstate Fubara as the authentic and constitutionally elected governor of the state. Anticipating to hear the president give that particular order, or rather reinstate Fubara from his suspension to be the governor of the state, or say resume your duty as a governor of the state. The president did not do that. And so all others that have been clamoring for the president to actually do the needful in recognizing the suspended governor and helping him be reinstated, they were disappointed. And one of such persons is Senator Dixon. So to you, my fellow Nigerians, they are also saying Dixon is accusing the president of not being democratic. That, for example, you are saying that we should eschew and come together and harmonize and look at the collective responsibility as citizens to ensure that democracy works, but that you are disenfranchising and denying the people of Rivers the opportunity for them to be constitutionally governed. What kind of democracy is that? Some others have blamed this administration of being an administration of the Southwest, not considering other regions. Is that true? If that is true, why is that so? And why would anyone let themselves be used as political tools for the whims and caprices of the political bureaucrats, knowing fully well that Nigeria's unity should remain sacrosanct? Oh well, I'd like to know what you think. It is important for you to tell me, possibly part the DPUC, just to ensure that the president is considered and the president is the one they fully support wholly. Are they telling him the truth? Or are they sycophanting? What is the essence of propaganda? If propaganda possibly puts your government in disarray or puts a blight on your administration, why continue on the path of propaganda? What are the Nigerian youths doing? Have we become mentally and psychologically chain swords and handicapped that we cannot call to order the government of the day? Have we become so repressed psychologically that even when we want to protest, a couple of persons would not want to be part of it because they're afraid of the consequences? What is the responsibility of the judiciary as an arm of government? What about the House of Rep? Are they actually rubber stamp? Are they questioning the executive? Are they doing their rightful check and balance? What about INEC as an institution? And all the electoral reforms are meant to be implemented. Will the president sign those electoral reforms? The constitution is going to be amended towards the end of the year. A lot of improvements will be made and changes will be made. These changes, who will it benefit? What region will benefit more? Will it be shared across board? Again, the government of the day determines how the political allocation and benefits go. But is that true democracy? I'd like to hear what you think. Make sure you subscribe, like, and share. Bye for now.